Welcome to the nutraCoster 3.0 tutorial entering recipes from Sweetware. In this tutorial, we'll show you how to enter a new recipe. Once you have saved the new recipe, use the same procedure to make changes to the recipe. The first step to entering a new recipe is to give the recipe a name. Type a unique name consistent with whatever naming convention you use. In this case, we're entering a chocolate cake in steps. As you're typing, nutraCoster searches the database. Matching words are highlighted in bold, and the number of matching items is shown in the list title. If there are no matching items, nutraCoster knows the item is not in the database and will ask if you want to add it. To add ingredients to your recipe, just type a few letters from the item description. nutraCoster displays all the items that match what you type. You can type more to narrow the list of matching items, in this case from 136 to 5. Select the item you want from the list of matching items, then enter the quantity. This formula calls for 50 pounds. If you need a unit other than pounds, you can choose it from the list of units. If you don't see the unit you need, you can easily add it by clicking the red measuring cup next to the unit dropdown. You can watch the units tutorial to see how to define units of measure. Since granulated sugar is always 100% added sugar, nutraCoster automatically marks it as added sugar in the recipe. Clicking Ingredient Done adds the ingredient to your recipe, so it's very simple to build your recipes in nutraCoster. To add an ingredient that is not already in the database, type the entire description of the new item. If there are no matching items, nutraCoster knows the item is not in the database, so when you tab or click Ingredient Entered, nutraCoster will ask if you want to add the item. Next, enter the quantity and select the unit from the unit dropdown. If you don't see the unit you need, you can easily add it by clicking the red measuring cup next to the unit dropdown. We show you how to add units in the Units tutorial. Click Ingredient Done to add the ingredient to the recipe. We now have 2 ingredients in our recipe. When you add an item to the database, nutraCoster doesn't know the nutrition values until you tell it. We show you how to enter nutrition information for an item in the Nutrition tutorial. When you add ingredients to a recipe, the initial ingredient order is set by the Preferences procedure. You can add ingredients in the order entered, or you can have nutraCoster resort the ingredients alphabetically or by weight as you add them. Once the ingredients have been added to the recipe, you can move them one at a time with the large mover arrows. You can also resort the entire ingredient list by right-clicking anywhere in the Change Recipe window and choosing Recipe Formula, Sort Ingredients By. You can choose any of the available sort orders. nutraCoster nutrition data includes a field for added sugar. Whether an ingredient is considered to contribute added sugar depends on how it is used. Some ingredients are always considered added sugar, such as granulated sugar, brown sugar, honey, molasses, etc. Some ingredients are sometimes considered added sugar depending on how they are used. For example, concentrated fruit juices are generally considered added sugar unless they are diluted back to their original strength. You indicate whether an ingredient contributes added sugar when you add it to the recipe. If the item has a non-zero value for added sugar, it will automatically be marked as contributes added sugar. If an item has no value for added sugar, you can still mark it as contributes added sugar. In this case, nutraCoster uses the total sugar value as the added sugar value. Thank you for viewing the Entering Recipes tutorial. So far we have covered entering ingredients in the recipe. To complete the recipe, see the Specifying Recipe Yield tutorial. For further tutorials in this series, see Specifying Recipe Yield, Units of Measure, Easy Finder Searches, Entering Nutrition.